I am that I am, Saint Germain in service, and I welcome you here this evening. I want to invite you all, just in this now moment, to take a pause. Just let yourself be with yourself. It's an interesting thing in this modern culture you find yourselves all in. There's this constant searching, this constant striving. There's this idea that you must keep improving yourselves. And so you will walk into any bookshop and you'll see books on all different kinds of self-help. How can I be a better person? How can I improve myself? How can I achieve more? I would like to invite you all to bring in the concept that you can't. And I do not mean this in a negative way as humans would often put it, but I mean this in a way that you cannot improve perfection, because that is what all of you are. You are perfection. You just don't realize it. And so you put your human filters over everything. I must be better. I must do more. I must strive more. I must own more. I must look a certain way. I must do certain acts, or therefore I am not a good person. Throw that off, because I see so many on the spiritual paths torturing themselves. Why can I not be better? I try so hard and I get nowhere. And it's because you're trying to improve something that cannot be improved. You're stuck in your filters, your perceptions. But if you would step back, remove the filters, remove those perceptions that say, I am not good enough and I need to improve, you will actually see the being you are underneath all of those filters. This is a grand actualization. To know that you are God. Now I want to add another concept to this. And that is that you choose. And you can choose the game of I'm not enough. You can choose the game of I must constantly improve myself. But the problem is when you choose that game, the game requires you to constantly have something to improve. So you might climb one mountain only to notice several more. And because the vastness of your being is so grand, and because there are so many potentials within you, that you can go on creating new mountains on and on forever, until you decide to exit the game of, I must improve, I must climb these mountains, I must be better. Enlightenment is not about improving the self, it's about realizing who you actually are. So you can take all of the self-help workshops and courses and read all the books and say your affirmations. And you can do these until you're blue in the face and you're so frustrated that you throw them down. Which is generally when people then look within and go, it's all me. I am this. I am that I am. And the universe is me reflected back to me. And then take it a step further. There is much more beyond this one universe. There are multiverses, and then there is even realms even beyond that. So stop limiting yourselves. You at your core are multidimensional beings. You're just playing the game of the human. So your awareness is being filtered through the human aspect of yourself. And unfortunately, the human has collected a lot of ideas about itself through many incarnations that simply are not true. And so depending on the individual soul, they will carry through with them through lifetimes different ideas about themselves, about other people, and about the world. And so many souls who were born on this planet many times before are born with certain filters. And also, on the flip side, those souls who haven't had many incarnations on Earth will bring their filters that they created in other incarnations, be it other realms or planets. But the point is now, dear ones, to leave off the filters and to stop trying to improve yourselves. You are not projects. Stop viewing yourselves as projects. And stop saying that I will not be worthy until I have achieved X, Y, and Z. It doesn't really matter what it is. And it can be the smallest things. It could be things on a physical level. It might be you want to look a certain way, you might want a certain job, you might want to have a certain amount of money in your bank account. Or it can go all the way over into the metaphysical. I'm not worthy until I'm enlightened. Even in your perceived imperfections, are you perfect? Because you are experiencing every facet there can possibly be to your being. Why deny yourself the experience? Many of you spend your time in a perpetual state of denying your experiences. When you are constantly on this self-improvement ladder, you are denying your experiences. Because you are saying, where I am right now is not good enough. But dear ones, you chose it. You may not feel that you chose it, and you may feel that outer circumstances have placed it upon you. But you agreed to it on a soul level. And the more you fight it, The more you get caught up in that tangled web, the more you get caught up in your own game. It is by allowing. It is through surrender that you will realize your being. And I know at this point many say to me, well, what if I am in a bad situation? What if I am doing bad things to myself? What if I'm an alcoholic? What if I'm a drug addict? What if I'm in a bad relationship? Do I just keep going with it? Do I put up with it? No. However, you surrender to the fact that you are in that situation. Do not fight yourself on it. Accept that is where you are. Because when you accept where you are, that is the highest act of self-love. You leave off the judgment. You stop judging yourself and you stop punishing yourself for being in whatever situation you are in. This is me, I am. This is my experience right now. This experience is not me. But I accept that this is the experience I am having. And you'll find that once you come to that full acceptance of wherever you are, things will change in an instant. Because when you are resisting, when you are fighting against a situation, you make the energy surrounding that stagnant. When you accept that it is there, it begins to flow again. It frees up the energy, and it frees up your mind and stops your mind from fixating on this game that you are in at present, and it allows the soul to speak through. And the soul says, let's go this way. Let's try this other path. Let's leave off the fear of the mind, the fear of change, and let's move in another direction. And this goes for any situation. Bring yourself to that place of peace. Be at peace with yourself in such a way that even if you feel you have done the most terrible thing to yourself or to others, you can find acceptance in that. It happened. It doesn't define who I am, nor does it dictate where I will move from here on in. The problem with this human experience is that humans often collect their experiences and they say, this is who I am. This is your first mistake. Your experiences are not who you are. They are simply experiences. And this comes also with that which might be considered a good experience. Allow yourself to have whatever experience it is you are having. And I often watch you humans, and I see you having a good experience and enjoying yourselves. And then some kind of programming will kick in, and you'll ruin the experience for yourself. You might start feeling guilty Oh, I shouldn't be having this much fun. I probably should be doing something else. Or I have too many responsibilities. I shouldn't be enjoying myself right now. Or if it's not guilt, it might be will this last? And then you get so caught up in the idea of a good experience lasting that you forget you're having the experience, and you get caught up in the anxiety of the experience ending. And that is the trap of being in the mind. That is the trap of following the path of each thought that pops into your head. When you learn to disengage from your thoughts and just observe them, you can choose which thoughts you want to follow. But I also want to emphasize that you cannot force those thoughts to go away. Once again, you bring yourself back into that state of allowing, of full acceptance. You might have a storm of thoughts going on in your head, and you might be trying to drown them out. But I can guarantee you, until you let them be there and become the witness and the observer, those thoughts are only going to get louder, because you've fixated on them. You're holding the energy there. When you accept that they are there, then they can flow in and flow out. And when you come to that point, then you can choose which thoughts you wish to engage with. The idea isn't to have no thoughts. It's just not to be ruled by them. Your mind is a navigation system, as I often say. Don't let your navigation system rule how you navigate. You're the one holding the wheel. It's just the mechanics. Understand that. Are there any questions at this point? I will continue. Now I want to shift focus a little, and I want to touch on the fear that is gripping the planet at present. Because the collective consciousness of humans right now is screaming fear. And there's fear from every camp you can imagine. There's fear from different political parties. There's fear from environmentalists. There's fear on individual levels. And many of you are feeling fear, not because it's your own fear, it's because you are picking up on the collective. Now this week has been particularly trying on many people because the full moon energy has very much amplified that fear. And not only did it amplify the fear on a collective level, it amplified the fear on an individual level. And although you may not have been feeling anxious, one of the main presentations of this full moon has been irritability. Fear often becomes irritability. Now, dear ones, I want to say to you that collectively, humans have chosen to be where they are right now. And there were many gateways, particularly through the 90s. Many gateways. in which humans had a choice. We're going to go this way or we're going to go that way. And the vibrations on the planet kept increasing. And they kept increasing and more gateways were opened. Which way does humanity want to go? Which path do they want to walk down as a collective? And oftentimes, as a collective, and I'm not saying for those of you who are sitting in this room that this is the case, because there are a small group who said, yes, we will walk through that gateway. Yes, we will accept our ascension and our enlightenment. We will come to realize that. But the great majority saw fear. The great majority decided that no, they weren't going to let go of the old ways. And when this happened, because the vibrational frequencies of the planet continued to increase, it began to stir up and to agitate those who, I guess you could say, wanted to dig their heels in. So collectively, humans are being forced to change. On a higher level, this is what their souls are asking for. But on a human level, they do not understand what is going on. But their frequencies cannot match the higher frequencies of the energies that are encompassing Earth right now. And that is why there is so much disruption. That is why there is fear. That is why on many levels humans are looking at the changing of a civilization. They are looking at people who are in power, who are still trying to hold on to the old ways, while everything else crumbles. And this isn't necessarily a bad thing, and I'm not creating a doom message here, because it is actually a very good thing. In order for humans to create the world that they really want to live in, one that is based on peace, one that is based on love for one another, then they need to allow the foundations of the old ways crumble. The old educational systems, the old government systems, the monetary systems, these all need to crumble to make way for a new earth, to make way for I do not want to say better, because it all is as it is. We cannot compare. But humans are sick of the old power games. Humans are tired of the power struggles, particularly as the new energies come through, as more and more people begin to realize that there is no such thing as power. Power only exists if you wish to enter into the power struggle. And this is important. This is an important thing to remember in the coming years. If you do not enter the power game, then no one can put power over you. That is freedom. That is true freedom. Are there any questions? I'll continue. Now I wish to merge these two concepts together. That of the collective energy on this planet and the fear and the crumbling of foundations. And I want to link this back to the full acceptance of yourself. What the planet needs right now is not more fixes. What the planet needs right now are beings who say, I accept you. And I will allow the process. I will offer my unconditional acceptance to what is going on right now. Because that comes from a place of deep respect. Every being chooses the experience they are having. So what right does another being have to say you shouldn't be having that experience? Now, I'm not saying that this means that you allow injustices to occur, but I want to take off the idea of the power struggle, because that is all it is. When I speak of allowing, when I speak of surrender, when I speak of acceptance, you are stepping out of the power game. Feel into that. And when you are in that space, when you are in that state of freedom, of liberation, of knowing that nothing has power over you, and you do not have power over others, that is when change occurs. If you want to see change on an individual level and a collective level, then you must learn the art of acceptance, of allowing, of saying, I see you, and I allow you to be you. And the more that beings are shown that they are accepted, the more they're going to come out of their shells and actually show their true selves. Many beings hide behind filters and personas of, I guess you could say, the power players, or I am an angry person, I do terrible things, I am a sad person. It does not really matter what game someone's playing. If you can look at someone and actually realize that it is a game, they may not realize that they're in the game, but you accept the fact that they're playing their game, you watch them transform. Because all of a sudden, you've said, on an energetic level, it's okay to be you. Watch the shift happen. So not only do I urge you all to have this compassion and this mercy upon yourself, in which you say, I accept myself every single aspect of myself. Everything that I perceive to be bad or good, I accept equally. And I am going to have the respect and the compassion to accept all other beings around me in this same way. And when that happens, the resistance goes away. The energy moves. And all of a sudden, all of those things that humans tend to want, and they talk about often, this idea of a planet in which everyone loves and respects each other, a planet which everyone loves and respects the earth, will begin to happen because no one is fighting themselves anymore. No one's fighting each other anymore. And in that place of stillness, and in that understanding that it's all a game, and this is your reality, you can come to the understanding of yourself. And you can come to the understanding that those beings that are looking back at you are you. And that we are all one. And yet not, which is the beautiful paradox. There's so much resistance. If you want to see change, surrender. And change will come swiftly and in ways that you would not think possible. Are there any questions?
So Germain, it's not really related to what we were talking about. Should I clarify that? Of late, I've been seeing a lot of numbers, and I've seen numbers in the past. At the moment, it's 1010. Has this any relationship to opening of gateways, or is it just? I just don't understand what it means.
They are personal energy alignments for yourself. And because you tend to resonate in numbers, numerology, sacred geometry, that is how you are perceiving the changes within yourself, and those changes that are manifesting around you as a direct result of the changes within yourself. So yes, you can view it like a gateway because it is acting as, I guess, a signpost. Yes, you are coming to the understanding. Yes, you are coming back through the gateway to yourself. But understand, and this applies for everyone here, that so many people tend to feel that in order to get to their self-actualization, to come to enlightenment, then they must lose certain parts of themselves. That they cannot carry with them bad thoughts, they cannot carry with them personalities or certain aspects of their being. I guess the grand joke is when you actually realize yourself and you come to your enlightenment that you're all those things and yet not. Enlightenment isn't about losing or gaining anything. It's about realizing that you are all of it. But in order to come to that place of understanding that you are all of it, you must learn not to judge, and you must learn to accept every single part of your being. The perceived good with the perceived bad. Until you come to accept all of your parts, then you'll be denying your parts and you will not come to your enlightenment. But these number signposts are your soul's way of saying yes, you're on the right track. And it's funny because the track doesn't really lead anywhere. It's right where you're standing. Doesn't matter. You could follow that path for miles, and it's already right where you are at any given time, any given moment. It's all you. It's okay to laugh about it. Enjoy it. Humans get so serious. But really this life, if you want it to be, can be a great celebration. And I know most humans, if given the choice between misery and celebration, they would choose the celebration. So you might as well laugh. But don't force it. See so many humans trying to force good emotions on themselves, and that's not acceptance either. You're feeling down, you feel down. Feeling happy, you feel happy. Just let yourself have the experience you're having. That is the greatest compassion. And compassion is what all individual souls need right now, and what the planet needs right now to overcome this fear. If you take away anything tonight, it is the gift of compassion. I thank you. I am Saint Germain.